Welcome to my channel. My name's Leilani. You could also call me Lay. Today is episode 1 of Project 100. Project 100 is where I'm going to attempt to read 100 books in 10 months. It's currently July, so that means I'm going to have to read 10 books for each month. The reason why I'm doing this challenge is because my best friend and I will be leaving our apartment, and I would like to read the physical books that I own and that she also owns. So if you didn't see my last video, I was unhauling books. So the current number of books that are on my physical TBR shelf that's combined with my best friend's books are 480. The ones that are just my books alone, it is 389. So in this video, I'll be reading 5 books to fit these prompts right here for Summerween. Throughout this video, I'll be in different locations. I was on vacation, so the opening scene is me at Disneyland. So there's a lot happening in this vlog. My goal is to read as many books as possible, and I'll see you later.
You have to ask Mom for that.
You've flown for me before. I can't believe you made it back. And it's good you made it back. Good for you.
Commander, one of the engines blew over.
Yeah, we'll talk later.
So I finished Such Sharp Teeth, and I'm giving this a 3.5 stars. I really enjoyed the first half of this book more because our character, it just feels like more high stakes, more intense, because she's trying to understand what's happening within her body, because she's noticing like these small changes that are affecting her day-to-day life, and she's realizing that, oh, something bit me and I think I'm about to be a werewolf, but she feels like she's going crazy because she doesn't think it's real. And yeah, I enjoyed that aspect. I really liked the first transformation scene of her becoming a werewolf, because it seemed very painful, and like she's documenting this process just to make sure she's not going crazy. It just reminded me of like a transformation scene from this TV show called, I think it was like Hemlock Grove, where that transformation scene turning into a werewolf just like painful as hell. So the first half was like very scary. When we figure out who turned her, I think I started to get more upset with that character because they didn't really care what they did to her. Like, they had no remorse, and honestly, I didn't care for that character at all. I also was getting a little bit upset with her sister and how her sister was handling certain situations. But other than that, I enjoyed the story, and I'm going to start my next book.
Graveyard behind the Church of St. Anthony the Anchorite. Most of the names on most of the gravestones had been scrubbed out by time or teenage vandals. The church itself had been boarded up and was so overgrown with vines and moss and mold that the danger, keep out sign, nailed across the doors, was decidedly redundant. Since its designation as a local historic landmark, it was protected from the bulldozers and wrecking balls that had razed everything else south of Azalea Street to make way for more patients, more parking, more gift shops and dining halls. While the medical school constructed, St. Anthony the Anchorite deconstructed. One brick, one beam at a time. Nobody in their right mind.
Okay, so I finished Graveyard Shift by M.L. Rio. I'm using this as read a book with less than 250 pages, and it's also a thriller horror book. Unfortunately, I have to give this a 2.5 stars. It had so much potential, and I think it would have been better if it was a novel. So this all takes place in basically one night, a graveyard shift, where these people meet every day basically for a smoke break at this graveyard. So there's not really friends, but they do have like a group chat together. So I don't really understand their dynamics. But we get a chapter or point of view from each character and where they're at in the story. But we follow them trying to figure out this investigation with an open graveyard, with rats, with fungus, and some of the concepts seemed really great, except for the fact that you don't even get to see more of them. You don't really get to see the process of what happens when they confront somebody, and I don't know, it was just very lacking. And then I did write notes. I wouldn't buy this book. This book is my best friend's book. I don't remember if I bought it for her for Christmas or if she bought it herself, but I would recommend not buying this, maybe borrowing it from a library, because I don't feel like it's worth it, because it really just leaves off on a cliffhanger and nothing happens. But that's what I read for this challenge. The next one I'm going to do Read in the Dark later today, and I'm going to read volume 8 and 9 of Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm trying to finish the whole series this year, or the books that I have up to volume 28. So for the prompt I'm going to use these two books for is going to be for Reading in the Dark. These are also horror books, and yeah, I'll talk to you later. Okay, so I'm currently reading the last book of this reading challenge. I am reading Truly Devious. I am currently on chapter 7, page 100, and I'm semi-enjoying the story. It's told in two different timelines. So we have a timeline of this crime that has occurred that our current timeline, the person is going to solve that crime. But basically, it's set in a academy, a very prestigious like private school owned by like this rich guy, and his wife and daughter have been kidnapped, and the person who has kidnapped them is going under the pseudonym Truly Devious, and they want money and jewels and all this other stuff, and he gives them this, but he never gets back, I'm assuming, both of his wife and daughter. I'm not really sure, because we haven't got that far into the story, but we know that the daughter is no longer there. Like, we're assuming she's dead, but there's no evidence that she has died. And because of that, the father has kept the school open in hopes of the daughter returning. And this is many, many, many years later for our current person. And she is named Stevie. She is very into Sherlock Holmes, Agatha Christie, wants to solve crimes, into forensic stuff, into mysteries, and she knows all of the history regarding this school that she's in. And I believe she's going to be the one who's going to try to solve the crime. There are other characters that are introduced that might help her along the way. But yeah, I'm not sure how I'm feeling. I'm not really connecting with any of the characters. And because I have aphasia, I'm kind of kind of withdrawing on certain like passages, only because it's so descriptive and detailed on certain like sceneries, and because I can't picture it in my mind, it kind of doesn't really matter to me. But I know like it's important to some people when they read it. I do feel like this will be a good like mini mystery series. So far, I think my favorite parts are when we do the flashbacks to when the crime is occurring, because it feels more intense. Right now, Stevie is just getting to know her dorm mates, and she's about to head to a party. But it's very much of a fast-paced read, and the audiobook is good. Like, when there's different characters, they have different accents. So I enjoy this. Today, my goal is to finish this, but I know I'm going to have price books to unhaul all the books that I showed you in our last video, and a few other like bookish items that I got from book boxes that I don't need, that I don't care for. So yeah, I'm going to do that today. I'm going to hang out with my friend, and hopefully when I come back home, I'll finish this book. We'll close out this vlog, and I'll tell you our update on where we're at in our TBR challenge. So I will talk to you later. So I haven't left yet to the bookstore, but the goal of the challenge is not to buy more books, because I'm doing a TBR challenge to read all these lovely physical books in my house. But I still am subscribed to Book of the Month, and their box has come in, and this is for July. So hopefully, because I got 2 new books today, I don't feel the urge or need to buy more books at the store. So there's 2 books that I did get. One, I thought it was a different book that I wanted. The covers are very similar, and that's why I thought this was that book. But it's not. This one is called In Stormy Weathers. The book I originally thought it was called Chase Me If You Can, and I believe it's about like tornado chasers or whatever, and I've been watching a lot of that on YouTube for some reason. But In Stormy Weather is basically a rival romance, close proximity with this girl and her best friend's brother, and they're fighting for the same position. So that's what in this In Stormy Weathers is. The next book I got, I didn't realize it was so small, is called Everything Was Beautiful and Nothing Hurts. I believe this is a debut novel, don't quote me, but basically this is about a man named Travis who is deaf in the modern world, and basically he is stoic, gentle, and a little naive despite who he is, but never tries to change anyone's fate. He is responsible for maintaining the balance of nature, and every life must eventually end. But then I guess in one of the, I don't know what to call them, customers, people that he meets a midwife and an 8-year-old, and with getting to know them, he actually starts understanding the true meaning of life. So there's this one. So these 2 are going to be added to our TBR shelf, and hopefully I can read them in the next few vlogs that come out. But I'll be leaving to the bookstore in a few moments. My best friend is going to come and get me, and we'll go out and get rid of some books.
Never really know what's going on. Look at me sometimes like all you want to do is run. Hear me out,
So I ended up finished Truly Devious. I gave this a 3 stars. I didn't realize that this was a 6-part series, and the only reason why I decided to look at Goodreads for it was because halfway through, another mystery starts to happen, and we're trying to also solve now a murder case that's happening present day in the story. And I was like, I don't think we're going to finish either of the mysteries that are happening. And I was right, I left it off on a cliffhanger. I don't think I'm going to buy the rest of the series. I think I'm just going to read it from the library, and if I like it, maybe I'll ask for the books for Christmas. But this was a 3-star book. I really enjoyed the past and all of the like interviews, just storytelling of everything that was happening in the past with that case that was happening. So for example, they also have, like, when it's set in the past, there's like articles or police investigations. So I like that aspect. I really did not like the romance aspect that was happening along in this book. I think the characters didn't have that much chemistry with each other. There was a lot of like secrets that were being held. So I didn't care for that. I'm assuming that that love story grows deeper within the next 5 books, but I didn't care for it. I do like the mentions of Sherlock Holmes and Agatha Christie, but other than that, this was an okay read. So I've finished 5 books for this challenge, and I will tell you them again. These are the 5 books that I have finished through this challenge. The first book was Graveyard Shift, which I gave a 2-star. I recommend getting this book from the library and not spending $17 on it. The second book is Such Sharp Teeth, which I'm giving maybe a 3.5. I like the first half of the story better than the second. And yeah, I enjoyed this book. The next 2 were my mangas, which are Volume 8 and 9 of Jujutsu Kaisen. I gave Volume 8 3 stars, Volume 9 a 4 stars. I'm going to continue the series throughout the year. And then my last book was Truly Devious, which I gave a 3 stars. So these are all the books that I completed. I'll show a number of how many books I need to complete for Project 100. These are 5 books down. I need to read 5 more in the month of July, just to stay on track for this project. And I think the next vlog is either going to be a themed video around Spider-Man books because the movie's coming out, or books around characters that are knights. So those are the next 2 videos I plan on reading. So I'll see you then.